14 minutes ago, two of the most influential figures in global music made a move so sudden, so unannounced, that it has sent shockwaves across continents. Jin and Jungkook, both members of the global supergroup BTS, departed without prior notice and are now confirmed to be en route to Los Angeles. No public schedule had hinted at this development. No promotional calendar suggested an imminent trip. Yet here they are, in the air, heading to one of the world's most strategic entertainment capitals. The question now gripping millions of fans and industry analysts alike is simple but charged. What could possibly be unfolding in Los Angeles that demands their immediate and simultaneous presence? The timing is nothing short of remarkable. Jin has only just closed a defining chapter in his career, concluding a world tour that spanned continents, broke records, and reignited the fervor of the BTS fandom worldwide. Jungkook, whose own solo endeavors have dominated charts and headlines, was not publicly linked to any immediate overseas commitments. And yet, within hours of Jin's final performance, both artists moved with precision and urgency, bypassing the usual post-event appearances and heading directly to an undisclosed departure point. Witnesses describe a scene marked by heightened security, controlled access, and an atmosphere of deliberate secrecy. The decision to leave so abruptly raises immediate questions. In the high-stakes world of the entertainment industry, movements of this nature are rarely without purpose. Los Angeles has long been a hub for BTS, home to recording studios, creative collaborators, and a media landscape that has amplified their reach to every corner of the globe. But why now? Why together? And why without prior notice, even to close industry observers? These are the questions fueling an avalanche of speculation in real time. For those who witnessed the final concert in Amsterdam, the sequence of events was jarring. The Ziggo Dome had been alive with energy, with fans traveling from dozens of countries to see Jin close out a tour that had been years in the making. Jungkook's presence in the audience had already stirred anticipation, with many assuming it was a gesture of support for his elder bandmate. But as the last notes faded and the stage lights dimmed, the atmosphere shifted. There was no extended post-show celebration, no visible after-party, no lingering in the public eye. Instead, what followed was a swift, calculated exit. Insiders have noted that such a rapid transition from performance to international travel is rare, even for artists accustomed to grueling schedules. The logistics alone suggest premeditation, private transport arranged in advance, direct coordination with airport authorities, and flight plans that leave minimal time for delay. To the untrained eye, it may appear as a simple relocation. To those familiar with the rhythms of the industry, it signals something far more significant, a pivot into a new phase of activity that requires immediate, physical presence in Los Angeles. Speculation has intensified around the possibility of high-level meetings, collaborative recording sessions, or strategic media appearances. The entertainment capital of the United States is no stranger to sudden arrivals by global artists, but the joint presence of Jin and Jungkook at this specific juncture amplifies the intrigue. Could this be connected to the long-anticipated BTS group reunion? Is there a new project in the works that demands both their input and presence? Or is this movement tied to an opportunity so time-sensitive that any delay would be unacceptable? What makes this development even more compelling is the alignment of their respective timelines. Jin's world tour conclusion represents a rare opening in his schedule, a window in which commitments could shift toward collective endeavors. Jungkook, though deeply engaged in his own career milestones, appears equally unencumbered by fixed obligations in this precise moment. The convergence of these openings is not easily dismissed as coincidence. It suggests orchestration, a deliberate decision to move together toward a shared objective. The emotional resonance of this move is not lost on their fans. To see the eldest and youngest members of BTS embark on such a sudden, joint journey evokes powerful imagery within the fandom's collective consciousness. These are not just two artists traveling for routine business. They are symbolic bookends of a narrative that spans more than a decade, now stepping into a new chapter side by side. The abruptness of their departure only heightens the sense that something monumental is on the horizon. As the hours pass and their flight progresses, the digital ecosystem is in overdrive. Social media timelines are flooded with flight path data, fan-captured images from departure points, and speculative threads dissecting every available detail. Theories range from the pragmatic to the extravagant. The launch of a new music era, a high-profile collaboration with a major Western artist, a surprise appearance at an upcoming industry event, or even the filming of a project whose secrecy is paramount to its impact. One undeniable fact remains: BTS has a history of calculated reveals. The group's most impactful announcements have often followed periods of silence punctuated by sudden, high-visibility moves. This latest development fits that pattern with precision. The lack of forewarning, the simultaneous involvement of two members, and the destination all point to a strategic operation rather than a spontaneous trip. Observers within the industry are already adjusting their expectations for the coming weeks. Whatever is happening in Los Angeles could have ramifications not only for BTS's schedule but for the broader music landscape. If this move does signal the acceleration of a group comeback or a major collaborative project, its impact will be felt across markets and media channels worldwide. For now, the only certainty is that Jin and Jungkook are in motion, physically toward Los Angeles and strategically toward something the public has yet to fully grasp. Every minute that passes without official word only deepens the tension. The global music community waits, not with passive curiosity, but with the heightened alertness reserved for moments when history may be about to shift. As their flight nears its destination, one question looms larger than any other. When Jin and Jungkook step off that plane in Los Angeles, will they be walking into the first visible step of BTS's next era? Or is the reality something even bigger than fans dare to imagine? The answer, whatever it is, will not only satisfy the curiosity of millions, it will likely redefine the trajectory of the world's most influential music group once again. Under the glaring airport floodlights, the contrast between Jin's composed yet visibly tense expression and Jungkook's sharp, almost guarded demeanor told its own story. The surrounding scene was a study in organized urgency. Vehicles positioned strategically, luggage moved swiftly, and unidentified personnel scanning the perimeter with a precision that did not resemble routine fanfare. This was not the casual, open-faced departure fans had witnessed countless times before. Something in the air carried the weight of immediacy, and it was impossible to ignore. Inside the terminal, the pattern of movement became even more calculated. Certain pathways were cordoned off without announcement, security personnel communicated with terse gestures rather than words, and airport staff avoided eye contact as the two artists were escorted directly to a private lounge. For those few who caught sight of them in transit, the lack of visible smiles or casual interactions was striking. It was a silent message. This was neither a publicity stunt nor a standard overseas schedule. Observers with a trained eye noted details that compounded the mystery. Flight records showed an unscheduled departure slot opened at the last possible moment, and the aircraft waiting on the tarmac was not the commercial or charter jet usually associated with their international appearances. Instead, it bore markings tied to high-priority corporate or diplomatic travel. The question grew heavier. What urgency could compel two of South Korea's most prominent global icons to board such a flight with virtually no public forewarning?